And so, dear hearts, here we are, Sunday morning, gathered together in comfort and at ease, ready and expecting something wonderful and great and glorious to happen by means of each one of us, being open and receptive to that exactly being so. And that's what I'm knowing for myself and the few in this room and all of you who are tuned in and everybody else besides, and all of life and living, wherever all of life and living is. That's what I'm knowing. So, that which moves mountains. We are concluding this wonderful sojourn that we've been going through this month as we have journeyed through fear into deeper faith. That's what this month was all about. Journeying through fear into deeper faith. And fear and faith are very much aligned with each other. It's kind of the yin and the yang. It's kind of like order and chaos and so on that we all experience in this dualistic experience of illusion that we're all going through on this three-dimensional planet Earth, until we wake up out of the illusionary dream and realize, poof, it's gone. It was a dream. And now I've come to my senses. And that's why we get together like this, so that we can come to our spiritual senses. Actually, I should say come to our spiritual sense, because the senses, per se, belong to the outer world, the world of materiality, the world of concrete materiality. And so, my dear ones, it is your pleasure and joy, as it is mine, to be open enough, to be ready enough, to desire it enough, to be passionate about it sufficiently, to want to jump into that great pool of integrated energy called amazing grace, and align ourselves with it, become one with it, and then get out there into the material world and flow it through us upon all, whatever it is. Because as you know by now, I'm sure, that this is the best of times and the worst of times, the order and the chaos again coming, buffering up against each other. And so it's given to you and it's given to me to find what that thing that moves the mountainous challenges, the mountainous stoppages and blockages that we find we have created for ourselves to move through. And so it can be done. It can be done. Now, faith has always been regarded as a negative emotion in anything that I've read or anything I've heard and so on. But you know what? This week, I wasn't really on vacation. I was actually on retreat. It was a wonderful, yummy 9 days that I had away. And certain things came to me without even me thinking about it, because truly, as I went away, I didn't realize how much I needed to just rest and be still. I brought books and everything else. I brought writing materials and so on, but I didn't read very much and I didn't write very much. I just was. I was in the moment, and I happened to be in a beautiful place that I happened upon by chance. And it was very Zen-like and very retreat-like, and so I went with the flow of that. But as I did just rest and walk and simply be, things clarified for me. And one of those things was this thing called fear. And then I decided, well, wait a minute, maybe fear is not that unintelligent, negative emotional force that I have been, in battle with, jousting with throughout my entire life. I'm very familiar with it. I mean, it always accompanies me. Sometimes it's dormant and sometimes it's not. And when it's not, I have to, recalibrate and realign and do all of that. But it occurred to me this week that really what fear is, it's kind of friendly, emerging, alert, rising. Friendly, emerging, alert, rising. It's befriending me, it's warning me, it's alerting me to put the stop button, because I'm just about to come to a brink that I may go over into. So my whole attitude about fear changed. I thought then, okay, fear is the other side of faith. Fear is the other side of faith. And so it's a tool in my alert kit, so to speak, and that it can be friendly and not foe. It can be a friend and not a foe. And that was a very interesting awakening for me, because all of the time I always thought of it as a futile negative emotion, and now I don't. I don't, because I think about it's all God. That's what it's all spiritual. It's all the one thing. So how could any of that in a way be of a negative nature? But that's a talk for another time. Anyway, that's what I came to. And then I was looking at that, not intentionally, it just happened, because I guess I'm so practiced into knowing that there's a Sunday coming and that I have to prepare for it. But the preparation just made itself present. I didn't have to sit down and read books and contemplate and do all of that. So this was rather spontaneous. And so I realized then, okay, so love, and faith are two essential elements in this thing called emerging life and expanding life in your experience and in mine. And we are told, that love heals everything. Love will do the deed, as the poet said, for with love stony hearts will bleed, and so on. And that love is all that is required and needed, enough love, as Moira Foxe would say, to mend or fix or heal anything. And the connection to faith then is this, that I find in my own life that when that love is strongly flowing through me, my faith is stellar, it's powerful, it's strong. It's there, very much so. But when that love, essence, and energy is not powerfully flowing through me, I have decided this week that that's when faith is weak. Don't worry about me doing that. I've been quiet for so long now, and I haven't been talking nonstop, as I sometimes have to do, that when I start, this is what happens. So you're used to my little cough by now. I don't mind it in the least. And it has nothing to do with anything in the material world, I can guarantee you that. And it has nothing to do with catching or whatever. So it's just mine to joust with now and again. So getting back to point. So love and faith are very much, again, interlaced with each other. And looking at the one, you'll find out how you're doing with the other. Looking at the way love is flowing through you, you'll know how your faith is doing. And I mean, faith is not something that you and I have to call up all the time. It's there. But it seems to me we only need it when we are weakening, allowing ourselves to forget who and what we are, that we are that powerful good in the universe greater than we are in material form. And we can call upon it, as Ernest Holmes says, and we can use it, as Mark pointed out, in spiritual mind treatment. It's a tool that is very there and present to you and to me, and you and me get to use it. I'm going to need some water here. In Ireland, we call this Adam's Ale. So here's to you, my dears. And so, as we come to the end of this sojourn through this fear thing, it followed, can we ever truly be fearless? And I don't think that's possible while we're wearing a body on three-dimensional planet Earth. But the thing is not to be afraid of fear at all. To see it as that friendly, emerging, alerting energy rising. That's all. Watch out. Danger zone approaching, step away from the danger source kind of thing. And so it's a good thing for us, and that's kind of spirit nudging us to make sure that we're paying attention and that we can be conscious so that we can do what we're here to do and be what we're here to be. Quickly, I want to go from that into the two most powerful words there are in the universe, as I have learned from experience and study and application. And those two words are, I can. I can. Now, Raymond Charles Barker says in one of his books that the most powerful spiritual words of all time in the universe and beyond is, God is, I am. God is, I am. He's not the first one that has said that. Many have said that. It's ancient wisdom revealed over and over and over again. But when you follow it with, God is, I am, therefore I can, it even becomes more personalized to you and to me and in you and in those who know this. And so this is part of the process of moving into the truth that sets us free. I can. The problem is that too many of us for too long have been running by the seat of our cants, C-A-N-T-S. That's what we run by, the seat of our cants. And everywhere you go, you hear people telling you, including yourself, I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. Brings me back to the time when Sister Stanislaus was talking to two of the senior infants in school when I was in the primary school, grade school. And she was saying to one of them, now don't you dare tell me, child, that I can't anymore. I don't want to hear from you, I can't, because do you know what I can't means? This is the 5-year-old she's talking to. I can't means I won't. That's what I can't means. It means I won't. And so, child, the sooner the better you learn that, the more able you will be to be a wonderful success in life. Are you listening to me, child? And of course, the little boy is saying yes, 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 yes. I never forgot that. I never forgot it deeply. It came to me later and later and later and later all the time. Every time I wanted to say I can't, I hear her voice saying, I can't, child, means I won't. Don't ever tell me I can't. So I knew, never tell Sister Stanislaus I can't. And so I'm saying that and sharing that with you today. Stop telling yourself what you can't do. Life is full of it. Listen to people's conversations. I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. All the time they're saying, I won't, I won't, I won't, I won't. I'm not willing to. I'm not ready to. I don't want to. I'm not in the mood to make any endeavor to bring that about. So I can't is an excuse that you and I hide behind a lot of the time. And most of us are in that field of energy. So I can, now I'm asking us all to focus this week on I can, what I can do, and there is always something I can do. And what I can do, I must do. It is mine to do. And now is the time for me to do it. So what can you do for yourself right here and right now in this world, just as it is, in your home, in your workplace, wherever you are? What can you do to enliven yourself so that you can enliven all of life as well? What is yours to do? That's the question. It's always the question in everything, in every day, in every minute of every day. What can I do? Don't sit down and do the usual thing like we're inclined to do and sit down weary and say, I just can't, I just can't. How many times have we found ourselves doing that? I just can't, I just can't. And every time we're saying, I just won't. I just won't. Because let me tell you, even when we're on our last nerve and our last ounce of energy, the hidden splendor is as amazing as ever it was, burning brightly within us. And at any moment in time, you and I can tap into that source of energy, get up and say, I can, I will, because God is an I am. And that which I am can and will. And I think we need to do this more. I wish there was more time to share with you some of the other ideas that trickled through my mind. I was remembering early on, very early this morning, when I stood on the beautiful green carpeted embankment of a graduating wonderful amphitheater overlooking the wonderful Baltic Sea, and remembering what I had learned that morning, that the people, those people in the time of the Second World War, and probably before that, gathered together every weekend in that place, and they thousands and thousands of people just gathered, and they sang songs of freedom. Songs of freedom. Actually, they succeeded in singing themselves to freedom. That's how they gained their freedom from the occupying powers at the time. They sang themselves to freedom. And I was looking out at how things are today, and I was thinking, what is missing? And you know what it is? Singing. It's songs. In the 60s, they were singing, we shall overcome. How many, how many days and years and so on must it take? They were singing songs of Bangladesh and so on. In Bangladesh die 1 million people and so on and so forth. They sang. When they marched, they sang. They sang. And what does it say in the scriptures? It says, come before the house of the Lord, which is the law, singing and dancing for joy. Singing and dancing for joy. We need to sing more, my dear ones. We need to sing out loud, out long. And we need to sing ourselves into freedom, as those people did some time past and succeeded and achieved. That was their protests every single weekend. Thousands and thousands in one beautiful place, singing freedom songs and raising energy. Because remember what the great, wonderful Augustine once said, a flawed man though he be, converted into what he became. And he said, he who sings prays twice. It's energy rising. It's powerful. So instead of being out there shaking our fists, let's clap our hands and sing and sing and sing and sing and sing. That's what we need. Just when I was a child, we were told that clapping your hands brings the angels, makes the angels appear. Energy. What are you doing? These are points of power in your fingers, in your hands that you're bringing together. So let's do more of that. Let's do more of the singing instead of the whining. Let's do more of the joyousness of knowing that God is and I am and I can and therefore I will and it must and it's happening now. And it's a one person at a time thing. It really is. Show me a person. And it's always you. It's not them, it's not they. It's me. Do you remember when you were a child? At some stage you remember this. You would say, in fierce determination and conviction, no, me do it, me do it, me do it. Whether it was tying your shoelaces or putting on your sweater or whatever it was. We had that in us. That was the spark within us, knowing that we are I-can-do people. I'm an I-can-do person. It was there. It always is there. We don't get it. We have it. We don't bring it in. We release it. We let it out. And don't let anybody else confuse you into thinking otherwise. You are the power. You are the thing itself, in expression, the individualized, chosen expression of the creator of all being, the creator of all life, choosing to show up by means of you. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face saying it, until you're sick and tired of hearing it. It's you. It has to be you. Do you remember that song? Well, I'm singing it from a different perspective. It is you, darn it, whether you like it or lump it. It's you. We're depending upon you. You're the one we're expecting to come through. There is no one else to come through. You, me, we're the ones. We're that 1,000 people. Every single person on the planet is the 1,000 people. We are all the sons of God. That means we are all the Christed emanations of the one power and the one presence and the one life, and that life is God life. That life is all-powerful, omnipotent, omniscient, and omniscient, and it flows through you. It's not up there, it's not out there, it's not over there. It's flowing through you all of the time. Just remember your breath. As you breathe, it's flowing, it's flowing, it's flowing. Your breath is your eternality. It goes with you into your next experience and your next experience and your next unfoldment. That is it. It's the creative force of you. Out of it, you create, and so do I. So who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Do you want to be victimized? Do you want to be feeling it's hopeless, it's useless, the world is going to hell in a handbasket? Guess what? It always was going to hell in a handbasket, you know. But there's a hand that brings up that basket every time. There's a force, there's a presence that raises that basket every time, and it never hits bottom, never. It can't. It can't. Why? Because God is. I am, and I can. And by Jiminy Crickets, I will, and so will you. And that's what you're going to know this week. That's what you're going to start telling yourself today. I can. I may not choose to, but I know I can. Take responsibility for your decisions. At least be in charge of your decisions. Don't let them be in charge of you. No, I'm not doing it, but I can. But I'm deciding not to do it now, so I'm not doing it now. I won't do it now, but I can. Always end up with the truth, but I can. It's like when you berate somebody, you know, you call somebody a son of a you-know-what, you must always end it with divine though he be, divine though she be, because you're ending with the truth. You're ending with the truth. And all of this hollering and all of this bawling and all of this name-calling and all of this divisive stuff has to stop. Has to stop. No one is perfect, neither is any one group perfect. We all have to work together to somehow figure it out how we can make a go of this thing called life. And by the way, our next class too, when it opens up, it's not just on one thing. There'll be another book called, it is called, it's one of Barker's books that we're going to be doing as well, alongside of the book that you already know we're going to do on communication. I mean, because you have to be interlinked with life in order to be able to live it and live it well. And that means all life, not just your life, your little life. You're not the hub of the universe, and neither am I. I'm part of it all, and you're part of it all. But be a significant part, and let me be a significant part too, is my prayer. So, my dear ones, I'm going to leave you with the realization of the one thing that all of us are endeavoring to realize, that you are now and always have been, and you always will be, a point of light, a point of power, a point of love, through which the infinite is ready to express itself in all of its radiant magnificence, if you could just allow yourself to be its outlet. If I could just allow myself to be its outlet, what is it going to be? Am I going to fall into fearfulness as a negative, or take on fear as a positive, as an alert system, and be the better of it? Remember, resist not evil. Resist not evil. Don't be put off by anything. Don't be stopped or blocked by anything that appears to be negative. Turn it into an affirmative. That's what we get to do in our teaching. That's what we get to do in truth. That's what we get to do in life. So whatever it's going to be, it's up to me and it's up to you to make it so. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Please follow protocols. Please wear your masks and wash your hands and do what it takes to bring comfort and ease to everybody out there, because it's a comfort to see people wearing masks, and some people get a little scared when people are not wearing their masks. So let's not scare each other, please. Love you lots. Good to be back, and I look forward to our new season unfolding and everything moving according to the I amness and the I canness of each and every one of us. Namaste to each and every one. And here comes Reverend Catherine to share with us something wonderful, as always.
This is the time in our service where we share our mission statement, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And this is the moment in which we share messages that come from our members and friends about how we are serving them. And this is one. I so appreciate your prayers. I know you have a group that prays for people who ask. I did ask, and I am so grateful I did. Just as I asked for the prayer, I felt a weight lift from me. I find it very, very hard to describe, but I know that my prayer is heard, and I am receiving the benefit. And I thank you so very much.
And God bless you. And God bless you for sending in your sharing of that experience that you have had. And yes, prayer is power. And yes, we have a very powerful prayer team. So please avail of it. Do that. And now we are going to have our wonderful opportunity to share. I love this part of our service. I actually love any time I'm giving away money or sharing any good thing, because it keeps the circulation in flow. My mother used to always say as a child, money was made round to go round. And I love that. And so this is the celebration of our prosperity and our abundance. Not everybody on the planet by any manner or means can do what you and I are about to do right now, but we can, and we're grateful. So we take our wonderful gift between our blessing hands and we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to bless, to heal, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. We rejoice in the sharing of our gift, and we release our gift with joy. And that's the way it is. So I would like to thank you all for being with us today, for your wonderful support of our center. Without you, we couldn't keep the legacy going, and thank you for that. We want to thank you for all your good thoughts, your good deeds, and all of your, your goodness in the world. And it is much, and it's making the difference. And we want you to know that we love you, and we keep you wrapped up in our prayerful, heartfelt thoughts and prayers, and that you are never, ever for one moment alone. You're always in our energy and in our prayerful thoughts. So do get in touch with us if we can help you in any way, if you need us in any way. This is why we're here. We're here for you. And so I want to say a big shout out now to my family in Ireland and to my friends who are watching in from all over, to each and every one of you. And a big and wonderful hug goes to my grandnephew Ryan, who makes his first Holy Communion today. I was supposed to be at it, but COVID saw to that. But that's okay too. So God bless you, Ryan, and I know your day is wonderful. And a sweet hug to Isla too. And now we're going to have our wonderful peace song, and we thank we thank Andy for his wonderful, inspiring, and uplifting energy in his music. And off we go now into the rest of our day, feeling better than ever before. Maestro.